Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. My name is David Wilkerson, and this is Surplus Funds 101. Just wanted to start off by saying thank you to all the people who have liked the video, subscribed to the channel, left a comment, sent the video to any of their friends or people in their network, or even left a PayPal donation or a Cash App donation or any of those other ones. Those are all greatly appreciated, you guys. I've been in the asset recovery and creative real estate space now for over a decade. So on this channel, I go and I show you guys all of the top little tips and tricks that I have used and deployed over the years as a solo entrepreneur for the most part to really go out there and crush it. And so if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button, go do it right now. But you guys, I wanted to make a video and go over some of just the basics when it comes to cold calling and prospecting. One of the questions that I get a lot is, David, I want to start prospecting. I want to get on the auto dialer. Like, what do I do? And the whole idea of cold calling, it's tough for them to visualize. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple of pointers that have been game changers throughout my career and things that I've done. So here we go. And you guys, the very first thing is before you even start cold calling, your success is going to start usually the night before, but mindset is crucial. Okay, the universe is going to serve to you guys whatever you think you deserve. Okay, believe that you deserve the success that you're working towards. Okay, I know that a lot of you guys are in the Facebook groups or watching videos online, and you're hearing stories of people going out there and crushing in big deals. And in the back of your head, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, that ain't me. That'll never be me. And that's the complete wrong way to go about this, because your mind will block you out from big accounts and money-making opportunities. And so this is something that over time you're going to have to really work with and kind of condition your mind around. I still do it to this day. I mean, this is something I've done for a decade and it'll never stop. But it's something you just you have to believe you deserve it. Okay, that's huge in all areas of your life. And then the second thing, you guys, just show up well rested with a positive mindset 30 minutes prior to calling. If you can, try not to drink or do any drugs prior to your calling shift the night before. You know, you don't want to be hungover or anything like that. Me personally, I kind of have a saying that if I'm not feeling good, you know, if my mindset is off, or if I've gotten into a fight with my girlfriend or whatever it might be, I don't pick up the phone and call anybody because I can't serve them. And you guys, people can tell when you're talking to them when you're upset. You know, you can tell when your friends call you and they're upset. And let me tell you something. If somebody calls you upset, do you think they'll ever want to do business with you? Probably not. So it's important that you're upbeat, you're excited, and that you show up prepared. And you guys, another thing too, make sure that your workspace is quiet with the least amount of distractions possible. I personally, when I'm working and dealing with my VAs, the only browser tabs that are open are ones that directly relate to the business I'm running or all the tech tools. I also have notes ready to take notes. I'm sorry, a pad of paper ready to take notes. So when I am talking to people, I can write it down and then convert that into the CRM. So you guys, a lot of this is going to happen before you even show up. And so it's really, really important that you guys get your mind right in everything you do. But this is no different. Okay, now here's just some tips on effective communication with other people, especially because you're going to be dealing with people over the phone. Okay, and this is one big one. It's just active listening. Okay, the best phone calls I've ever been on were the ones where the people I was talking to were doing the bulk of the speaking. Okay, people's favorite conversational topic is themselves. They love telling you about their family, what they do for work, what they hate, yada, yada, yada. You know, when people start talking a bunch, subconsciously, it makes them trust you more. And so I get excited. And I know that I'm being a good salesperson when I'm just leading the conversation with questions all the way from start to the finish line. So it's a really good idea to get them talking and you just ask them questions. Down here, I have it down below here, but some of the best questions to ever ask somebody is why, how come, what else? Why is that important to you? How would that make a difference to you? What else would that do for you in your life? You know, there's various bunch of different ways to ask these questions, but that's pretty much what it is. You know, and another thing too about active listening, it allows you to gather important information about the claimant situation so you as the professional can serve them better. and you have a lot more ammo to load up in your Uzi clip when you want to close them and they're kind of balking. And so I always go in depth on my notes about the people, what they like, what they don't like, where they were from, where they're born. I have all the data in front of me to where I can pull an arrow out of my little quiver and shoot it at them. So if I need so like let's say that I was talking to them and I found out that they like basketball, right? And I needed to find a reason to call them. I could go find a current event or something that's going on with basketball and then call them and say, hey man, did you check out the game? Oh, by the way, I was just going to call and ask you about this, this, and this. And you guys, I don't really ever do that, but you get what I'm saying. All those details are just little bullet points for rapport and trust. And you want to have as many of those as you possibly can. Okay. Now, here's another thing that we like to do. It's called ART. It stands for ask, restate, and tie down. So the ART method, I've been deploying this for over a decade. It's really good to soft close somebody or to figure out and determine if they're going to be a deal or just going to waste your time. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. Below is just an example. So let's just say, hey, client X, if we could help you recover the funds that are owed to you, and you can see how we would be able to quickly help you quit your job, like you stated, is there anything that will hold you back from getting started today? I asked them a question, I reinstated what they were talking about, and I tied them down and moved forward. Boom. Okay. And another thing too, you guys, tonality is huge. Okay. It's important that you don't have like a really aggressive tonality or a really loud tonality. And this is something that I've had to personally work on. I think with my DNA and just how I was born, I have a really loud, raspy voice that travels. And so it's really easy for me to get excited and loud. And even though I don't consciously think I'm being aggressive or loud, like it's perceived that way. And so like you want to really be calm and easy, and have a really light tonality. Okay. And another thing too, that I always do, and I hope you guys do as well, when you're making your phone calls, think about how the other person on the other end of the phone is interpreting you and what they're thinking. Like, are they thinking to themselves, hey, can I trust this guy? Is this guy phony? Does this guy know what he's talking about? And so just little tiny things can make you come across like an expert, like not over talking them, waiting for your turn, asking them the questions that you need to ask them, being a professional. Okay. One of the things that I kind of like to do that I think is like the ideal communicational tone, it's that late night talk show host tonality. We all know what that sounds like, but like that's so easy on the ears, and that's kind of what people want, But here you go. And here's another one. It's communicational pace. Okay. Keeping a slow pace, you guys, it's really important. And it's easy to get nervous and talk really fast. And try not to do that when you're brand new. I remember way back in the day, I was running a door-to-door company and I had a bunch of guys underneath me. And the cool part about that is I had the opportunity to go shadow whoever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And so what I would always go do is I would shadow the super, super, super successful people along with the super unsuccessful door knockers, because I wanted to find the difference that made the indifference for them. And it was such a light bulb eye opener, because the guys that were really crushing it, they really didn't change too much, as far as their tonality, their pitch, their script, and everything like that went. The big difference on the guys that were crushing it was how slow their intro was. The guys that crushed it the hardest, their intro was probably 3 times longer than the normal person. And if you think about it, like if someone were to come at you and be all fast, talking to you all quick, like it would put you on guard way quicker than somebody that was really slow. And like, they just, again, like I was saying on the last slide, just always be very aware of how other people are feeling when you're talking to them. Okay. Cause talking fast, it just just puts off a lot of negative subconscious triggers. And like those negative triggers are going to take away the trust that somebody has. And that will kill a deal quicker than anything. Another thing, you guys, do your best to remove all of the filler words or pregnant pauses while talking. The ums, ands, yeah, okay. That'll come with over time and just the confidence that you have behind the script. Again, if you want confidence, practice. But These are all little things too that you would hear from somebody and you'd be like, that's a beginner. The people that are pros, they are very good at pacing and matching their tonality of the claimant or whoever that they're talking to on the phone. And I guarantee you, none of them have filler words or pregnant pauses. And if they do it, it's intentional to like drop their tonality to suck you in so you listen to them more. Okay. And then as far as closing goes, you guys, closing is such an easier topic to think about than a lot of you guys do. Closing is just asking, hey, do you want to do business? I know it can get way more complicated than that, but I'm serious. You guys, the people I know that crush it the most, they just ask. You got to ask for the business. If you don't ask for it, the answer will always be no. So closers ask, okay? One of a good transitions that you can use, to closing somebody is once you get done with your sales process, you kind of summarize the conversation with them, and then you go over what the contract and notary process is, and then you just option close them and say, hey, would next week, Monday afternoon or Monday night work better for you? And just be surprised how many people just go along with the flow. Okay. And then here's another thing. This is huge, you guys, especially if you're independent solo people, because your time is valuable and you want to know where all your time and money and resources is going to. And tracking your KPIs will give you all that data. Okay. You really want to know what your own personal KPIs or your VAs KPIs are. My VAs, I have them gather their own data. I double check it. And every single day they send me a KPI report. But you guys, KPIs, they stand for key performance indicators, and it's a way to measure your business's activities. So hey, I got to make 300 phone calls to get one contract, and every 2 contracts, I'll get a closing, or whatever it might be. You guys, one of the easiest ways to track your KPIs, and it's free, is just from Google Sheets. Okay, Google, if you guys haven't gone and messed around in the back office of the suite, even the non-paid version, there is so much value and benefits in there of all these freebies and things that help you run your business that most people don't even know. But Google Sheets is a great way to track it. I say if you can track absolutely everything about your business, but the things that are going to push the most revenue is the outbound communication. And so if I know math and numbers and data can be confusing to some people in the very beginning, you don't need to focus on that so much. If I'm talking and kind of fumbling all over myself right now. Track everything, but if you only want to track one thing, track your outbound communication, because that's what drives the most revenue. Okay. As far as that goes, you want to track your dials, your talk time, your appointments and leads generated, lead incubation time, and contracts signed. Okay. And here's a big summary. You guys, pick one niche at the very beginning and keep it super simple. Okay. When it comes to the asset recovery industry, people want to be in like 15 different states and do like 3 different things. Doing that, it just spreads your personal bandwidth out so small to where it makes it tough for you to really hone in on one thing. What I would suggest is pick one niche, either state funds, surplus funds, tax, bankruptcy, and then just do it in one state and then crush it. There is so much money in all the municipalities nationwide to where you will always have work to be done. But that just makes it really easy, especially when you're brand new. You want to keep it as simple as possible while you're learning. And another thing is quality conversations will always outweigh quantity. The people that you get good rapport with, that you can just have conversations with, like they're your old friends, that's where you're going to win. Just making phone calls to make phone calls without an intention, that's dumb. You're going to waste your time. Okay. And another thing, this is huge. I say this in all my videos. You guys, follow up with leads. Okay. Most of these leads, they're going to be converted after probably the 3rd phone call, maybe more, maybe less. I always hope it's the very first phone call, but after doing this for a while, I know what to expect. What I'm trying to get at is this, you guys, don't give up on leads after the very first follow-up. Some people, you got to call them a dozen times. Some people, you got to call them for 6 months. And it seems like the more follow-up that's involved with a certain lead or account, the bigger the payday is. But regardless, guys, follow-up is crucial. Follow up and just asking for the business. But other than that, you guys, when it comes to state funds and unclaimed funds, that is just the communication and cold calling basics right there. But if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comment box below. If you like the video, click like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to leave a PayPal, a Cash App, or a Venmo donation, I appreciate that as well. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Take care.